Welcome to viewers tuning in to our update with Digbee ESG, the leading data ESG disclosure and research platform for the mining industry. And I'm delighted to be speaking with Jamie Strauss, the founder and CEO of the company. Jamie, hi, great to be chatting with you again.
Good to see you, Adam. I've got my traditional green headphones, so sorry.
Yeah, it's great. We know you're listening in. So for those viewers who might not be familiar, just to recap on where we're at, Digbee ESG's launched quite rapidly this year. Can you provide a quick overview of the company and how you've moved so far?
Yeah, sure. So Digbee ESG was encouraged by leading stakeholders of the industry back in early 2020. And it is a specific ESG disclosure platform for the mining industry. It's future looking, it's right sized. So there's an exploration, there's a development and a producing framework. Most importantly, it's aligned to the key global standards within ESG and social development goals. We went out and made sure that it was endorsed by leading stakeholders beforehand, and that has continued. We've got more testimonials actually even today coming in. So it's endorsed by leading stakeholders. And of course, what it does is it massively improves the efficiency. It tells the management what to disclose, the key topics. There are over 35 different topics within the ESG matrix. So it tells them what to disclose, as well as allow the boards to have address their obligations, and at the same time, investors to compare and contrast companies through on a standardized and harmonized basis.
Yeah, it's vital for the industry at the moment. Okay, so as I said, you've launched very rapidly and scaled quite quickly. What's the past 6 months look like for you since that launch?
Yeah, it's been an exciting 6 months. We started with the exploration framework back in March. Development framework launched in June, roughly when we came off beta test, and we're about to launch the producing framework in the next 2 or 3 weeks' time. So we've had amazing traction. I mean, the feedback's been outstanding. The outreach really was to some extent held back because of our beta testing until June, but the outreach and the interest, and thanks one-to-one with their conference coming up, has really been one of the most exciting moments of my life. And you're beginning to see also this week some of the companies that have come through publish their scores for the first time. Which is really, really exciting. They didn't need to publish until 12 months. And I would say 2/3 of the companies that have already gone through will be publishing their scores in the course of, well, from tomorrow through to the next 2 or 3 months' time.
Yeah, and could you tell us about just some of the endorsements, some of the leading stakeholders that have endorsed the platform? There's a great roster of names that I can see.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm well known that BlackRock and Orion were the two groups, along with the Red Fort Fund, actually, Justin Bering as well, who really encouraged me to come up with an ESG disclosure platform. And I really worked with them to try and understand what the underlying issues and the conundrum was in terms of disclosure, and then effectively to create a solution that addressed the problems not only for the management of mining companies who need to now disclose, boards who need to are obligated to effectively include ESG in their oversight, but also to address the investors and other stakeholders issues. Other companies that we bought into that was BMO, my old house I used to work for. There have been producers, very important, Sibanye-Stillwater, more recently B2 Gold, Teresa, and others who have really helped us from a producer point of view to make sure that screening of ESG is easy, is transparent, so that doesn't effectively address the underlying M&A market in the future. And then you kind of go further afield than that, because stakeholders are not just capital providers, they're also insurance companies. So we're working with insurance companies at the moment. I can't tell you who with, because it hasn't been completed yet, but more for the producer end. And then there are a number of other initiatives across that whole spectrum with whom we're working with to try and encourage clients to get on board, but to also really to simplify and raise confidence in the mining industry as a whole.
Excellent. So with the upcoming release of the producing framework, what does that mean for the broader industry?
Well, it means we cover 100% of the industry. So we've now got three sets of frameworks which are interlinked the whole way through, and are all freely available to any mining company in the spectrum to get on board, to know what to disclose, and effectively have that blueprint available to create a strategy around that. What it also does is, of course, it creates not only to a harmonized structure, but it also creates an independent third-party score, which any one of those companies, once they have completed their assessment, can go out with, can engage with their own stakeholders. It may be for recruitment, it could be for talking to local stakeholders, it could be for getting debt, maybe getting ahead of the curve before they have to go through equator principles with a commercial bank. So it really allows all companies in the spectrum to simply and easily address the underlying questions within ESG. And I think ultimately this has got to lead to greater confidence and conviction within this sector, which sadly is, at the bottom end of that curve historically.
Yeah, indeed. Still lots to be done, but excellent progress. And coming up, you're participating in our one-to-one events this term, which is great. What have you got lined up there?
Well, thank you to all of, to one-to-one, but also to all of your corporate clients and your investing clients who are keen, seem to meet with us. So, and we're really keen to explain and get people to understand what it is. We're meeting, I think, nearly 60 different groups over the next couple of days. But then we're also going to be in London for your event in London, your physical event in London. There are other events also on the calendar going out into 2022. Yeah, and we're all guns blazing to try and just make sure that everyone can benefit from this new solution.
Yeah, absolutely. Excellent. For anyone watching, tuning in, or indeed attending any of those virtual or physical events, come and meet with Digbee and Jamie. But Jamie, thanks very much. It's great to get an update on the excellent initiative and to hear how busy you are this term. So we look forward to hearing how some of the developments fold towards the end of this year.
Adam, thanks very much indeed. And it goes without saying that, follow us on LinkedIn or something, and everyone can see where we're popping up.
Yes, indeed. Follow the social channels. Thanks, Jamie.